So this is what the bottom of my mailbox looks like. Got this hinge hanging off, and I recently discovered the reason why it broke off was because this contact here that it has the screw right here. I put in a pretty fat screw, as you can see right there, and so you can see the notch in the wood. So when this was coming down, it would impact that screw, and so split off. So my previous repair caused my next repair to be necessary. So I'm going to use a piano hinge and a lot shorter screws and some epoxy and get this thing going here. Okay, so this is after putting on some 5-minute epoxy to pull things together. You don't need a lot of pressure with epoxy. So this messiness down here doesn't matter, but I'm going to try to sand this smooth, and I have a piano hinge to throw on there, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, here it goes. Okay, so sanded it smooth. It doesn't look quite as rough. Didn't do much to the bottom, of course. If you look down the, you can see I'm trying to keep it pretty straight there because I'm going to put the piano hinge in and just show you that right now. Let me get it out. Okay, so just so you can see, here's what I'm doing. Pretty much going to put this piano hinge on like that. So I've already scraped off the plastic coating, and on the bottom of the hinge you can see that it's got a little bit different color from one side to the other. So this is me scraping off the glue with my grinder, and then the other side is going to have, this is going to be what's glued to the bottom of the mailbox. So it's going to go like that, and it's going to sit like that when the mailbox is closed, and this surface over here is going to be underneath the bottom of the mailbox. So I'm going to glue and screw this down with the epoxy. That's my next step. Okay, so I drew these circles. I'm not sure if you can see them, but I drew these circles for my screws, and I'm going to pre-drill the holes for the screws to come with this hinge. Obviously I've cut this hinge on this end here. You can see that the holes aren't aligned, and then I used a punch to punch in between. So turns out I don't really have as many screws as it would take to use every hole, so I'm going to try to spread things out, and I'm going to use epoxy to hold the thing on. Okay. Okay. I have some 5-minute epoxy all stirred up, and so I don't have much time to put it on here, but should do the job. Just gonna get it on the wood. The wood is pretty clean. It was glued last night. Sanded it down. Put the hinge up against it. Pre-drilled some holes. So in the hinge. So just going to make sure I have good coverage. Obviously I don't have to do it this way, but this is what I'm doing. So this is I'm just going to remind you that I already cleaned this side. There was a plastic coating. Obviously there's plating, but I'm not worried about gluing to the plating. I'm worried about trying to glue to the plastic. So took care of that, and it's time to hurry up and screw in the screw things in. So I'm going to leave one glove on. I'm going to take one glove off and start putting in screws to hold this down. So obviously I don't have a ton of time, but it shouldn't be a big deal since I pre-drilled these. I'm just going to go to the ends first. Okay, let's grab another one. This should work better. Alright. Going in. Now, I don't know if you could see my marks, but I marked which holes lined up the best. And so the idea being that I would be able to put screws in the holes that really lined up pretty well. I don't need all of them, obviously. I'm gluing the darn thing. The screws are mostly just to hold it while the glue hardens. So, and actually, if I wait long enough for the glue, for all the screws to go in, the glue might harden before I get there. So I'm really just going to try to get it going ASAP. So I might quit in the middle. I'll just see how many screws I get in. I only really have 6 per side. So there's 4 of those. See, this one doesn't line up. Well, this one does. So I'm going to put one there. And that might be the last one. We'll see. Obviously my screwdriver is slightly magnetic, and things are going pretty smoothly right around now. I'd like to put one more in, so we'll see if that option appears to work. It doesn't really look like it's going to, but as a matter of fact, I think I'm going to stop right there. Now I see that I've gotten a little bit of extra glue on the piece that I'm going to be gluing to the other side. So, tripping over all the crap in my garage. So I'm going to clean off this piece here. I'm hoping I didn't get too much glue on the just clean up the edge here, the hinge. Try to make sure I don't have glue in the hinge. As a matter of fact, I think I might. So I'm going to see what I can do to clean that up. Okay, you can see that the bottom of this mailbox has a lot of glue on it. I think maybe you could see it better if I zoom in on it, but particularly over here there's a lot of glue, and so I'm going to sand that flat and give myself a fresh surface for my 5-minute epoxy. So got that same sander out and about to do it. Okay, so this is the final repair. As you can see, I left a screw out because that hole was way too big. This is with a coat of epoxy underneath it, and then screwing it up there was hard enough, so I didn't really shoot it while I was doing it. Anyway, so there is the mailbox with a piano hinge, and it'll be hopefully last for a few years. Hopefully I didn't trip myself up again. We'll see. So yeah, if we just open it, that's what it looks like on the inside. Maybe not as pretty as it could be, but I don't think the mail carrier will have to touch any of that because they're going above it. But for today, I'll come out to the curb and collect the mail.